Today I've designed a super fast item sorter that uses multiple copper golems and some slightly strange techniques to get it working. I've been working on sorting systems using the new copper golems, and I've been having trouble getting the copper golems to work with one another. I've tried all sorts of things. I've got verification golems, renaming every item in the chest, water streams, the whole lot. But it turns out there's a simple solution to this, and it was suggested by Average Zing. Just put less items in the chest to give the golems more space to put items in the chest. How did I not think of that? It's painful. So, it's time to do a little bit of testing. Right, I know how this looks, okay? And I know that I'm not helping the copper golem abuse allegations here. But you see, it has to be this way. It has to be this way. It has to be this way because copper golems have slightly wacky pathfinding, and if they get it in their head that they want to go in a certain direction, they will just try to go in that direction endlessly and not check any chests. So the trapdoors stop them from trying to do that because I don't know. I don't think they think that they can pathfind on trapdoors. Regardless, I have set up a little test here. I'm going to dump 4 stacks of items in here, and then I am going to check to see what happens now. How fast does this chest fill up? I imagine I just need 4 empty slots. That's crazy. Okay, so the copper golem is aware that I, as a spectator, am looking in the chest and is not actually attempting to put items in the chest. That honestly seems like a spectator detector. You could detect spectators using copper golems. Copper golems won't put items into a chest that a player is looking into. However, I definitely didn't think that that would apply to spectators because spectators can't really interact with the chests. I mean, look, when a spectator right-clicks on a chest, it doesn't even do the chest animation. That is crazy. I'm getting distracted by the funk. The only thing is, this does make it quite difficult to know what's going on in the chest. So now I'm going to dump a ton of redstone resources into the copper chest and set the tick speed to something absolutely outrageous and let them do their thing. All right, they've done their work. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, no. So just to clarify, that broke horrifically. It broke so badly that I had to kill the copper golems. They were filling up the chest so much faster than the hopper could handle. I don't think it matters how many clear spots we had in that chest, that thing would have filled up and completely broken itself. It is time to go back to the drawing board. I think I've thought of something that may potentially work. So we've got our regular item sorter there, which when we get a signal strength of 2, it unlocks the hopper. But then if the signal strength reaches 3, which suggests that there's way more items in the double chest, then it could activate some kind of hopper minecart system, which will pull the items out really quickly. This circuit potentially works. We've got the hopper minecart kind of hovering here. If I put a bunch of items in, you can see they get pulled out incredibly quickly by this hopper minecart. And then the hopper minecart just moves them off down in this direction. I mean, this is good. There are still ways that I can imagine this could break, but this is good. Like, if we get a bunch of small stacks of items and like a huge variety of items, it could just fill up all of these without ever engaging the buffer. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping this works. We are effectively doubling the hopper speed briefly in times of need, and that could be good. Right, I've upped the tick rate. Let's chuck in the items. Yeah, this is looking good. Let's set them to work. Eventually, we should see that our little hopper minecart should start popping up. Good, okay. And you can see it's kind of like activating and then deactivating, gradually removing the items and then coming back down. Is this filling up? It's not. Well, the fact that this is going down, like it's going up then down, implies that this chest isn't filling up. I can't check it because the copper golems know when I check it. I would love to see what's going on in there. I would. I've put my check items in, so hopefully we should know if we've had any overflows. And when they stop doing their thing, I guess we'll see where the items have actually gotten to. They're moving fast. Okay. Right. No, we never had an overflow. It got to here. Interesting. Now I'm going to do a test of huge variety of items. And I think this is where things are going to break, because I can see a situation where we end up with a bunch of small stacks of items up here, and the buffer never actually kicks in, and they just overflow into the circuit. This here is an absolute nightmare scenario. I've even varied up the stack sizes. I think we're going to get a breakage here. Oh yeah. The fact that they seem to be slowing down. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look, there we go. Boom! Goodbye, sorting system. No, I thought this was going to be easy. I thought I would just breeze through it. I kid you not, I'm recording this 12 hours later. And this is what I have to show for my 12 hours of effort. A handful of comparators. Redstone dust, a little bit more redstone dust, and a redstone torch. I've got a little bit of explaining to do. So our single chest with a single hopper was way too slow. Items were flowing in too fast and they weren't clearing out of our input chest. Now, hopper minecarts are very good at taking items out fast, but they're almost too fast for redstone mechanisms to react to. So I tried to do something smart using the hopper minecarts only when there were loads of items in the system, so the speed wouldn't break anything. But as you saw, if you get a bunch of small stacks of items, it's actually not enough to trigger the buffer, and then you still only have a single hopper doing all of the work, which again is way too slow. So over the past 12 hours, I've tried to do some really big brain stuff using hopper minecarts and all sorts of funkiness, and got nowhere. And then I thought I'd return back to one of my original ideas, which is using 2 hoppers underneath a double chest. It's twice as fast as a single hopper. The only issue is it takes out 2 items at a time. Now, why is that a problem? Well, say for example, a copper golem comes along and places a single piece of redstone dust inside our system. You can see we lost a redstone torch. Redstone torches are now not sortable by our sorting system. But what I embarrassingly failed to consider is I could then just leave it like this. And then sure, yeah, if a single item goes in, it will stay there. But if another item goes in, both will be removed immediately. And you can kind of do whatever you want. And the system will react to it pretty well. And nothing will go wrong. This thing's reliable, and it removes items faster than copper golems can put them in. We can have a bunch of these together, a bunch of copper golems, and we can have ourselves a fast sorting system. So it's time to test this thing. And oh my goodness, it's still not fast enough. What the heck? I am hopeful though that I can apply this same idea to minecart bits. Jeez, this is simple. This is outrageously simple. Right, how much wiggle room do we have in the buffer? Okay, we have a 4-item wiggle room. So that means that I should be able to place in 4 items up here and they get removed. But I can spam around and that 51 should remain unchanged. I mean, come on. This thing has 4 hoppers distributing all of the items. There is no way copper golems are that quick. I do like this thing. Only uses 4 bits of redstone dust, a redstone torch, and a comparator. I like that a lot. And I should be able to tile them directly next to one another. In case you're wondering how I do the minecart bits, first I nudge the minecart along and then, well, nudge the minecart along until the hitbox looks like it's in the middle of the 4 hoppers. Then I place in my gravity block and that should fall in next to the hopper minecart. Try not to place them wrong. Oh my goodness. Can you tell it's been a long day? And this is where the activator rails are going to be going. And then the hopper minecarts just sit on top. Now you might want to do a quick check just to see that the items are actually being pulled from the hopper minecart. They should be if you've aligned everything correctly. But now that we've got all of our copper golems in, this machine should be ready to test. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty nervous. So I've got an inventory full of items, and what we're hoping to see here is multiple chests being opened at once. Multiple checks going on, multiple items going in. Now I'm going to set the tick rate to 300 for this one, just so things run a little bit faster, and I'm going to start dumping all of our items in. Okay, let's see what happens. Right, our copper golems immediately have gone straight over to the chest. This is looking good. I mean, straight away, we can see a lot of work is being done. Oh my goodness, look at this! Look at them go! Yes! This is exactly what I want to see! They are all shuffling through and they are all trying their best to deposit items and searching chests consistently. This is so good. This is so good. They're actually all working together properly. No way. No way. Yes. Okay. All of the items have ended up in the correct areas. Of course, the only thing is we are using barrels instead of double chests because right now the pathfinding of these guys just gets them distracted. So I've had to use barrels. But this is functional. Everything is being organized correctly. Quickly, efficiently, and also pretty simply. Like, in terms of redstone mechanisms, this is not complicated. Sure, there's some funny bits to do with the minecarts, and there is some funny bits to do with the copper golems with the vines or scaffolding to stop them from bumping into one another. But there's no renaming of items to do. I guess the only downside of this design is, number one, it takes up twice as much space. Number two, you do need more copper golems, and it is mildly more expensive. You're going to need more iron. And number three is that it doesn't sort non-stackable items anymore. In fact, it doesn't even sort 16 stackable items anymore because of the way that it interacts with signal strength and it relies on speed of taking out items. The signal strength has jumped up higher, faster than the machine expects, and it will remove more items than it should. So all non-stackables and 16 stackables will have to go in the miscellaneous chest at the end. So I think it's time that I do a roundup of these sorting systems. If you want a cheap and reliable design, 100%, this is absolutely perfect. And for the majority of players, I still think this might be the best option. Just a single copper golem, working hard, you can leave it running, you don't have to think about it, it will be slow, but your items will be organized. I absolutely would not recommend using any design that requires renaming items. It takes a long time, it uses a lot of XP for no real gain. So this design now can probably get in the bin. If speed of sorting matters to you, then this machine right here, it's really quite quick, it's reliable, just as reliable as a single copper golem sorter, and it's pretty cheap and pretty simple to build. And if you want to be really smart with it, you could do a hybrid of old school sorters mixed in with this. Maybe you run your items over the top of a bunch of old item filters that filter out things like dirt, cobblestone, stone, and all the stuff that you use a lot, and then only items that are used infrequently but still you want them to be sorted, make their way into this. That's probably the best way to go. Whatever you choose to do, I hope that you enjoyed this little deep dive into sorting systems using the copper golems. I've had a lot of fun. If Mojang make any changes to the copper golem, I will be back playing around with them, but for now, I hope that you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!